April 11th. Had to look it up. Is Gail here? Gail, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
Raise the flag. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And our thought for the day, Vicki. Oh, Paul is on top of it. Thank you.
This is from Carl Sagan, the astronomer. We are made of star stuff. We are a way for the cosmos to know itself. I miss him.
And I just remembered that I still have one I did last week from Arthur Ashe. Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. It's every bit as relevant today as it was last week. Well, that's true. How about your song, Joe?
Good morning, Bill.
What are we going to sing?
Oh, I thought, I've been racking my brain. I woke up in the middle of the night thinking, what should I say?
Well, the
Yeah. And then I saw Jim's. And I thought, Home on the Range.
I'm so glad to hear about your plan.
Get out of here.
No, I really
Home where the buffalo roam, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. Home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day.
All right, say hello to somebody. Reach your friend. Reach your neighbor.
Brian Bauer. Linton. Nice to see you. How's everything? How's your wife? He should be. We're ready. What's your sister's last name? Working today? Did he have more than one daughter? Oh, yeah. Yeah, but she's his wife, yeah. Who was he with? Oh, that's my daughter. Oh, that's your daughter. Yeah. She had to come in here. She's beautiful. Yeah, I didn't realize that was your prodigy. Yeah, but what's really cool is I'm playing stuff with her. She's kind of a friend with her. Hang out.
Thank you to today's greeter, Nick Bramwell and Nancy Wilson.
Thank you. I was young enough, but then.
And thank you to our web team, Scott Hensley, and standing in for Barbara, John Lucas. Where's Scott? Where's Citizen Scott? So, President-elect Matt, do we have any visiting Rotarians today?
We do not.
Last week, we did have a visiting Rotarian, Paul Phelan, you remember? And so I'm just putting up a reminder of what he talked about last week. And this will be coming up on April 18th. It's the drone video. We're going to be going out to the golf course at Crokemont and lining up and all waving and probably doing the back and forth wave thing, and he's going to film it with a video. So.
bring our flashlights. Flashlights, you're gonna have red umbrellas, but if everyone could bring a flashlight.
Okay, good. I didn't know that. Bring flashlights. Thank you, Linda. We also were supposed to have a visiting Rotarian, ex-Sunrise Rotarian, Teray. Formerly Teray McBride and now Teray Elrod. And she was going to come here to announce the Windsor lobster feed. Maybe they're sold out already, who knows. But so in her stead, I will make that announcement for her. If you are interested, coming up this Saturday at 7 p.m. is the lobster feed for the Windsor Rotary Club. If you want details on it, just Google Windsor Rotary and click on the site, and they have a direct link to the brown paper tickets or whatever like that. You can get signed up for it. Do we have any guests this morning? Louis.
We have our outgoing exchange student, Naya Planty, with us today.
Morning.
Get a chance to say hello.
Do you have any words of wisdom for us, Naya? Oh. Apparently not.
We took the microphone, that's how you do it. You just walk away with the microphone.
Yeah, well.
Have Louis do it. I want to introduce our program today.
Okay.
Greg Abbott from Catholic Charities.
Good morning.
All right, good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
Great, how are you?
And we have Andrea with us. I had been asking for additional photos, and apparently Andrea did get some photos and sent them to David Mark Raymond, but David didn't forward them to me. So I went on Andrea's Facebook page and found this older photo of him playing tennis when he was younger. Where was this taken?
So, well, I wasn't in, but I don't remember exactly, but I think it was in Sicily during the Italian Championships.
Wow.
But I don't know. From my hair, I'm pretty sure it was around. Yeah. It was around that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's the tennis going this year?
Well, pretty good. I've been undefeated so far, but probably 14, around 14, yeah. But yeah, the tennis season here is pretty sad because we're getting rained out all the time. So, yeah.
Thanks, Andrea. So, today's Bill's Beetle Tie of the Week. Take a look at it. Yes! She got it.
She heard it on the radio on the way in.
I don't know if you caught that first line. There's 1 for you, 14 for me, because I'm the tax man. Yeah. So they wrote that actually in protest to the fact that when they started making buckets full of money, boatloads full of money, they were giving away about 90% of it to the British government. So I think one of them may have changed his residence to the Bahamas or something like that. Anyway, so tax man.
So what they do, they knighted the property.
Citizen Scott, are you ready? We have a Vocalize Your Vacation from...
I can vocalize my vacation.
Come on. That's right.
I'll vocalize your vacation.
Hang on.
No. That's my time, thank you very much.
Okay. And now, there it is. Your little arrow to the right.
Well, good morning, club. Hey, Citizen Scott here, you know. Winton asked me to talk about my favorite subject, which is me. My vocation, if that's what it is. I'm a freehand sculptor. I
I work primarily for the manufacturing world, doing giftware and toys and lots of different stuff. Anyway, this is a flyer that I've used to entice people to give me work that I don't have to pay for. This is one of the earliest known photos of me. I still dress like this on occasion. That's me as a Boy Scout with my Cub pack. And the cool thing is the TV. I mean, look at that TV. Okay. So here he is. Some early influences: Ray Harryhausen and Jack Kirby. I got a job at a company called Tommy Toys. I got the snorts in the line. I worked there 3 years. I got 5 things in the line. Little wind up. After that, I went freelance. I worked for Playmates Toys. I did a lot of Ninja Turtles, Star Trek guys. This is, excuse me, practice. This describes the process here. You see the drawing of Barbie there lying down. And what I do is I start with clay, and then I make a mold, and then I cast wax, and then I make another mold, and I cast urethane resin, and paint it up, and ship it in, and then make a million of them. I only get paid once. So here's another one. They send me the drawing, and I put together the thing in clay and send pictures back. And then they send that to the licensor, in this case Disney. And Disney says, wrong, do it again. Does all these drawings and stuff. And so then I mold it, cast it in wax, make new pictures, and hopefully get approval. So part of the job is sculpture, and part of the job is politics, getting approved by the licensors, and like that. So another example of that, did some Peanuts guys, and there's the finished piece down there. There's some more finished waxes. This one's called Dog Germs. BFF here. Anyway, I send this into Lennox, and they're doing ceramic ware. So this is the final ceramic pieces. They came out pretty good. A little on the cute side. Some older pieces. There's Mickey and Raquel. A little extra polishing on Raquel. Did a big T-Rex from the King Kong movie for Playmates. This is going to be a hand puppet. It's really big. This is the Wizard of Oz witch. And some street sharks. And this here is Queen Slug for a butt. It's from Earthworm Jim. They decided it was too scary, so I had to redo it and make her cuter. Did some work for a Halloween guy. This is a candelabra thing, and there's everybody's favorite. Go ahead. Mickey and Minnie, the ever popular, everlasting Mickey and Minnie. Let's go with the guy. Oh, and this is a Zorro figure I did for Playmates. That's called barbed wires, or he's so tough you got barbed wire wrapped in him. That's when you know you're tough. And I used to do a lot of likenesses. There's not much call for it anymore, but I got to do the Stooges and the Blues Brothers, so I can die happy now. Did some zoological stuff with a bee and a fly. And Turok, fighting dinosaur. Some Hot Wheels. Did some basketball playing Hot Wheels for Mattel. Sculpted the characters, and I sculpted the cars. Nowadays you would 3D print the cars, but back then it was all fingers. Used to do a lot of Happy Meals. This was the Monsters Incorporated Happy Meal for McDonald's. They were actually a lot of fun to work with, the guys down in Emeryville, the Pixar guy. I thought they were going to be real anal about it, but they were actually real loose. Yeah, do whatever you want. Cool. I thought I'd show some girls' toys. Baby Mickey and Baby Minnie. We don't use them very often these days. And that's Glamour Puss. That was a fun project. And there's Kong, of course. And Mr. Burns. Kind of looked like a Rotary president. Did you have a question, Matt?
Do you have a picture of that ice sculpture you did?
No, I didn't, and I'm not even going to mention it, and I'm sorry you didn't. I'll tell you about it later off the record.
This sounds like a story that we need to hear.
This is some recent work. We did a lot of these little muscle characters. Wow, they don't blow up real well, but anyway, they're real small. And let's see. This is something we just finished. These are called Silkies. You might remember them from the 60s. There's this company that's kind of re-releasing things. And they would come with shampoo in them. The heads would come off. And, yeah. So I got to do the creature from the Black Lagoon. So that, and Elwood, and the Blues Brothers, I'm happy. So.
Does Elwood have a broken leg?
What's that?
Does Elwood have a broken leg?
Probably. Anyway, I'll end with question.
All right, Scott, you must choose, out of all the ones you've ever worked on, your favorite.
Yeah, I really like the Kong stuff, because I got to do all the sculpture for the whole line, and include dinosaurs and people and Kong. So it was a lot of fun. Now back then, they wouldn't give me any reference from the movie because it was a secret. Like I might tell everybody that Kong is a big gorilla. So I had to do the sculpture and take it down to LA and carry it all down there and go into Universal Studios, and they had a big Skype thing set up. So we would hook up with the guys in New Zealand and hold the sculpture up to the camera, and then they would critique it that way. Yeah. Nowadays I just send out JPEGs and they say that's wonderful, and then I beg to get paid, and then I wait for the phone to ring again. And that's my vocation. That's what you do.
So he's the Eggman. Yeah, he's the
So, April 11th, this day in history.
14th student.
Huh?
The 14th student.
In 1968, on this day, President Lyndon Baines Johnson signed into law the third portion of the Civil Rights Act, also known as the Fair Housing Act, which prohibited discrimination and the process of redlining and so many other factors that were used to control populations and discriminate against people. So that was signed into law this day in 1968. And what famous person was born this day? In honor of Scott, I picked a sculptor. This is the birthday of Gustav Vigeland. If you have ever been to Oslo in Norway, on the sort of southwest side, there's a huge park devoted entirely to the works of Gustav Vigeland. And most of them are done in granite. And he's got some really big ones. A lot of the forms are in some ways, they don't have much detail. Sometimes he'll put like the veins in hand, but the rest of the body is very large and bulky, and the features are typically not real distinctive, but he does a lot of things where he combines bodies together. The centerpiece of the entire park and the biggest sculpture he'd ever done is a giant obelisk that's all people piled on top of each other, holding each other up. It's probably 30, 40 feet high. And it's all intertwined bodies, all unclothed, but all facing in and raising things up. He also, by the way, was the person who sculpted the Nobel Prize, the golden medallion that they give out for peace or for science or all those things. Gustav Wieland did that as well.
Pretty good pig. What year was that?
Oh. That'd be 1869. It wasn't quite that old. Interesting story. My sister had gone to Norway along with visiting Sweden with my mom, and she went to this park and she saw these tremendous sculptures, and so she bought this Wieland book. My sister's kind of on the conservative religious side, you know, and many of these sculptures most of them are naked, and some of them are full frontal nudes and things like that. And her daughter took this book to school and wanted to show pictures of the people. She was quite young at the time, and that caused quite a stir. Anyway, Gustav Wieland. Happy birthday today for Linton's wife, Jane. Any plans? What are you going to do for her? Not today, April 16th. That's what, Monday?
I don't know what she wants yet. Oh, actually, I know. She has a friend, Mary Goodenow, not good enough, same spelling. Do you know Mary by any chance, Jim?
I think I heard her. Maple Road? Yeah.
So they have the same birthday. And neither of them had actually ever been to the casino in Roman Park. And they're going to have a date together to go to the casino. I don't know what I'm going to do.
You're going to banquet.
And happy anniversary to John Belusis.
John!
That's today, right?
That's today.
Yeah. So, happy anniversary. That was about the weakest singing I've ever heard from this.
That's pretty impressive. It sounds like everybody's already been celebrating my anniversary. Thank you all.
Yes. Any plans?
Yes, we will do our nightly FaceTime where we will visit for a short while, and then the dogs will take over and lick her phone to kiss Dad and get a treat, and she will say, I hate doing this with the dogs, but when they hear the tone, they want to see Dad. So that'll be our night.
Yeah. So any celebrations next time you get to see her in person?
Whatever she tells me.
Oh. All right, and I had an additional picture of Jerry. I was going to try and get a video in there, and I couldn't get it to work, so I just replaced it with the photo again. So, celebrating his trip to Africa. Thank you again, Jerry. Save the date coming up. Gary, what new news do we have? Oh, boy, did we almost have a
Yeah, what we do, it's our thing.
It is October 13th, and we have our first food vendor lined up, but many of you frequent bars and breweries.
Oh, thanks.
And where's Natalie? Where's Natalie? So if you would do us a favor, and as you go into one of your favorite places that make beer, these are save the date cards, and I'll leave some over here, but just take one, give it to the owner or whoever you work with and get them, find out who we contact, how we contact them, just kind of put this in their mind that this is coming up on October 13th. It's going to be a great time, and that's it. Thank you.
Okay, so the drama that we almost had, prior to this, when Terry and I were looking at dates and all that kind of stuff, we looked around and tried to find out. We didn't want to be in conflict with the Noon Club. They had traditionally done their lobster and steak feed, their big fundraiser in the fall, on either the last day in September or the first day in October. So we thought, well, we're 2 weeks away from that if we go October 13th, so we're pretty safe. But just to be sure, I emailed them and said, hey, what's the date? And they wrote back and said, well, we don't really know. We're actually not going to do the Lobster Fest. We're going to do something different this year. It's probably going to be some kind of a dinner and auction, but we don't know the date yet. So, well, in that case, we're going to go ahead and pick it up. And then we found out that Larry Ford, their incoming president, had scheduled it for the same day as our beer bash. So Matt got into discussions with Larry. What transpired there, Matt?
Yeah,
Our attorney called.
I threatened with a suit, claims for class action suit for emotional distress. He backed out readily.
Did you make that ready with Michael Cohen? You are a fixer?
Fixer. So actually Larry was very nice. I said, this is, we gotta work this out, Larry. We're presidents together, right? And he said, yeah, and we found a new date, October 27th, so all is good.
Larry did, not us. Not us. We kept our date, they moved. Good.
We're the 23rd.
No, 13th.
No,
We're the 13th, and so they're October 27th. We're gonna have an auction. They're copying our dinner auction on the 27th. I think
have a couple of other volunteer opportunities coming up, and this is not an official Rotary-sponsored event, but it's something that's going on in our community in case you are interested and want to join. It's this coming Saturday. It's the Laguna Stewardship Day, and from 9 a.m. until noon over at the Laguna Environmental Center over on Sanford Road. They will provide snacks and tools. They just want you to bring heavy clothing and gloves and all that kind of stuff. Will our Interact group be there, Louis?
Well, it was discussed at the last meeting along with their agenda that they have for the rest of the year, things to do. I haven't seen anything on their Facebook notifications that they followed up, but these are kids and it's only Wednesday. This isn't until Saturday. So I don't expect to see anything until maybe Friday afternoon.
Well, if you are so motivated and go, you may run into some interactors or maybe not. But if you see kids with a red shirt that say Interact El Molino, go over and introduce yourselves and say hello.
Or maybe you could run into the Loch Ness Monster down there too.
That could happen as well.
Yeah.
This
Giant crayfish.
Also coming up, we have the Apple Blossom Parade. Matt. So we're going to have a work day, like a day or two.
Yeah, we actually are going to build a float. We've got it in the works. And so if you guys want to come Sunday afternoon to 2207 Schaefer Road, I will have beer. We're going to build Heard It Through the Grapevine float, honoring the theme of the parade this year, which is Blossom Divine. Not Blossom Divine. It could be Blossom Divine.
What was the date, Matt, again, please, for one?
Sunday.
This coming Sunday?
Is coming Sunday.
So 15.
Let's say 1 p.m. 2207 Schaefer Road.
Okay.
Email me if you have any questions or get lost. I may or may not respond.
And Bill, just a reminder that the Learn to Swim program starts on the 23rd at Ives Pool. You don't need to know how to swim in order to teach people how to swim. So those of you that aren't big swimmers, it really doesn't matter. I mean, you can teach a kid to put their face in the water. That's where some of these kids are at this point. They're totally afraid. Anyway, Michael is going to get out the sign-up sheet for that and more information about it. We really need to help out the new club if we can.
You want to say something about Inspire Hope too?
I do. Yeah, I ran across this at a guy at Langeman's gym who's been going up to Middletown for the last 2 years and doing volunteer work up there. One of the things that they found as people who start construction is that there's a need for them because they have no shed or anything to place their tools, and their contractors oftentimes don't. There's a real need for sheds as the building process goes on. So they built a bunch of them up there. And one of the lumber yards up there has put together 100 kits and instructions, and on June 9th they're going to have a one-day construction project, and they're trying to enlist people from clubs and organizations around Sonoma County to put together a team. It'll be 5 or 6 people, and we will build a shed and we will deliver it to wherever it needs to be delivered. I think it's a great idea, and I think it's something that Rotary could get a lot of press out of, particularly if we could get many of the clubs in Sonoma County to participate.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you need experience, or you guys, do you have to know?
Yeah, isn't that sweet? Somebody give Jim a microphone here. So, tell us about this wonderful new addition.
So, R-E-L, not Ariel, born March 28th in Walnut Creek. She's very advanced.
He's walking already.
Yeah, far ahead of all the other kids. It was fun to watch my son go from nervous dad to holding her like a football. It's a week. So, I guess the granddad thing, that's what I wanted to call me. I'm excited about doing stuff with her. I don't know if that's the magic of being a grandparent, but like taking her fishing or the ice cream store or something like that.
Yeah.
But we'll have to wait, I guess.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Anyway, it's good to see you here too. I know it's difficult for you to get away, but yeah, we're thrilled to have you here. Patrick.
Mike, please. Mike. Or Terry, please.
That's John.
We had the, Natalie and I had Uncle Al? Had an experience of giving away dictionaries. This is a card that's specifically to Patrick, Al, and the other members of the Sunrise Rotary. Thanks so much for the dictionaries for my 3rd grade. The students love, underline 3 times, these. We use them every day. Here are thank you cards from the children. And I'll show you just a couple of ones. In Waldorf, they do all sorts of artistry, and then they do writing.
Wow.
And they learn cursive out of the box. They do not print. They start learning to write this way.
Wow.
And dear Sunrise Rotary, thank you for the dictionary. I really, that means really, love it. So that's a cool one. And because we are Sunrise Rotary, thank you for my dictionary. I really like the horse pictures and animal pictures. And my favorite, because I'm in it, dear Sunrise Rotary, thank you for my dictionary. I really like how we can look up things. I was waiting for my dictionary since 2nd grade. Thank you again. Love, Hazel, Millpile. So I'm handing these over to Al, because Al is the inspiration in this club for this project. And if you want to see those, yeah, you sure can.
I have a stack of letters here to read.
So thank you, Al, yeah.
But we're out of time this week, so I'll read them next week, but they're all addressed to Mr. Cook and Mr. Webb. They are so cute. So, without further ado, Terry.
Mr. Webb.
Mr. Webb, yeah.
Calls hard anymore.
You're kidding me. Mr. Webb.
Mr. Webb. It's interesting to learning cursive when you start out at